Welcome, welcome in, come meet my Bristol bro. Anything from this to that, my Bristol bro. So nice to introduce my Bristol bro. Anyone from him to her, my Bristol bro. Work with these hands, you see this hard form. Say with your chest, my pen is hardcore. Even at my desk, feel like a star-lord. And it shows how much we give it all for. Now it's time to give them all an encore. Till it's back to the drawing board. Welcome, welcome in, come meet my Bristol bro. Anything from this to that, my Bristol bro. So nice to introduce my Bristol bro. Anyone from him to her, my Bristol bro.
Welcome in, everybody. Happy New Year's Eve. Welcome to the last Bristol Bros live stream of 2025. And I wouldn't be here without my buddy Sam, so I want to bring him on. Welcome to the show, brother.
My Bristol bro.
My Bristol bro. We are here. We are ready to close out with the wrap up of 2025. 2025 has been a heck of a ride, hasn't it?
Yes.
You've only kickstarted like 50 million different things, and just small stuff like that, getting a bunch of stuff done.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that next year is going to be even busier.
Sad because it's more work for you, but also really cool, right? Because I know we talked about that a little bit when we were on here last time about how it's just you got so inspired, like you were talking about the course with Sean and Jake Parker and everything, and how that really like motivated you, and you've just gone above and beyond in all the things you've been producing. So sounds like you're adding even more to your plate for next year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to be working on the same project, so they're also going to be anthologies and White Line, but this year in 2025, I didn't have a comic out until like April was when the first issue had come out.
Right.
So I'm going to have at least one or two comics ahead of that for when I had this year. So definitely going to still be the same comics, but just more of them.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you, when's the superhero line coming out?
That's a good question.
Because you got a guy here that I tend to more draw this superheroic type of stuff. So maybe one of the anthologies.
Did I tell you what the theme was for this upcoming?
Oh yeah, you said the new one's Jack Kirby, huh?
Yeah.
I'm appropriately dressed then.
So now you don't have an excuse.
Yeah, but it depends on the deadline, dude. That's the hard part.
I mean, you'll have 30 days at least. I mean, you already know about it now, so you can obviously get started. But
pressure, you turned it. I like how you flipped the script on me there, and you're like, oh, you want to do something superhero themed? How about that? You get this done in like 30 days.
Hey man, I have my pages pretty much thumbnailed. I have 8 of the 10 thumbnailed. I'm gonna get the other 2 thumbnailed this weekend, and I'm gonna start getting that thing drawn, and I'll probably have it done in like 2 or 3 weeks, probably.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Looks like we got some people in the chat. Let's see. Do you know Mr. Tin Man?
I can't say that I do, but it seems like he's enjoying himself.
I think he's going. I think he's gonna go bye. There we go. See you later. All right, Mr. Tin Man is gone. We'll keep it family friendly in here. Let's see. That one fat cat, that's appropriate because I have several fat cats. So that's good. You love comics. I love it. You love people that love comics. Got Candy Coated in here. Hello, welcome in. Last stream of 2025. Glad to have you guys here with us. So I thought it'd be cool. We were talking earlier, since you have so much experience now with kickstarting stuff and you're just continuing to accumulate more. If you were going to give people kind of the blueprint to follow, if they really wanted to put something on Kickstarter, in keeping in mind the lessons you've learned and trying to help them avoid any mistakes you may have made or lessons you learned, um, what would your advice be? Like, where should somebody start with that?
Sure. And I've had many people actually like the last week or so because people have been getting their orders from the Kickstarter. So I've been getting tons of Discord messages, emails, pretty much asking the same thing, like, "Do you have any advice? I want to get into
Yeah.
Kickstarter," so on and so forth. Um, I mean, obviously, on the past interviews that I've done with you on the, I guess, like the actual like Dirty Musings
On the
podcast,
pod, yeah.
um, one of the big things that I always harped on is having your stuff done, and so that way it's a fast turnaround for everyone. And that seems to be one of the biggest things of feedback that people have been given to me is like, hey, if more cartoonists or just Kickstarters were this fast with getting you the product, like more people would be willing to,
Yeah.
fund them, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I know for me that's been a big thing because I mean, I can't tell you how many that I've backed that I still don't have fulfilled, and it's been well over a year. And then you just start to wonder, like, some of those are never going to happen. It's kind of inevitable. Like, and then sometimes it's fun because you'll get one that you forgot about that's really cool, and then it just shows up and it's like Christmas morning. So that's cool. But I'd much rather have it be like, hey, once we're funded, we're going into production and it's getting fulfilled and sent out as quickly as, as soon as it gets back from the printer. Basically, that's what you did, like with White Line and everything.
Yeah, and it's super important that you're clear about where you're at, what your goals are, and how fast you're going to be turning things around.
Yeah.
Um, because, like, for example, on Ink Pulp today, the most recent episode, they had Ramon Perez on,
Oh
and
yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch that one yet.
so he did a Kickstarter, and it was 2 years ago, and his book still isn't out yet.
Yeah.
And they talk about that in the Kickstarter, and obviously, I'm of the mind like, why isn't it out yet? You know what I mean? But
Same. Yeah.
um, I don't know, because it was on the show kind of like promoting because he started up a new studio and they're kind of doing like fanzine anthology sort of things nowadays.
Right.
And I don't know, in my head, it's like you have people that gave you money 2 years ago and your book's still not out, but you're starting up a whole other studio. It's like, don't you think that you should get that book done before you start doing other things? But
Yeah.
I digress. That's just
That's my opinion on it too. It's like, having that money in the bank and then not really, and then not only that, but I've noticed with ones that do that too, and not saying that he's doing this at all, but the ones that it's different if they get your money and then like they're doing an update like every month and showing you previews of pages and like, oh, sorry guys, it's hung up in the coloring stage. All the pencils are done and inks are done, but it's hung up on the colorist or whatever. Like taking you along with the production journey. Like I think that's kind of a way to mitigate the angst that everybody has when they're waiting. It's like, oh, cool. We can see that it's being made. It's just we're learning a little bit about the process and how long it takes. But I think it's about, like you said, that transparency. Like if I was going to do one that I wasn't planning on starting to produce until I got all the money, I would be like putting that in the description, like, hey, this isn't going to start up until it's fully funded, and then we're going to get the ball rolling.
Yep, and so when you're on a Kickstarter and you scroll all the way to the bottom of people's Kickstarter pages, there's a section called like the risk section, and Kickstarter makes the person that's doing the Kickstarter campaign fill that out, and it's basically like you need to put in there what you're using the funds for, so on and so forth, so that way you're as transparent as possible. And I find that like people half-ass that section, don't put everything in there, or it's just I think that we'll get this to you as fast as possible, and or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like, well, you're not saying like I'm using money for this and X, Y, and Z, because I think
So they have plausible deniability, right? It's like you don't want to be too specific
Mhm.
with what you're doing because then people can hold you accountable.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's number one is like in terms of feedback on Kickstarters, it's literally have all of your ducks in a row before you even start doing the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things you can do is you can start building out your campaign before you actually launch it. So they give you like a 60-day window, I want to say, that you can like start up your campaign, start adding items to it, and it's private, so nobody can see it but you.
Oh, okay. So I did that. You're teaching me something. I didn't know you had that kind of leeway with it. I thought you kind of had to be like ready to get it all up in public like quicker than that. So that's cool. You can actually plan ahead and have your page set up and all your different tiers and all that stuff.
Yeah, like right now, for example, like Matteo Scalera has like his the wait list right now for his Kickstarter, The Fourth Father.
Yeah, that's
And
not even until like March, right?
exactly. So like
Yeah.
that campaign, like they already have that created in Kickstarter, and they're putting items on it in the background and putting in the details, so on and so forth. And then when they actually decide to launch it, there's literally a button on Kickstarter you press, I'm ready to launch, and then it just
Yeah.
posts it.
Well, and Mateo, he's already cranking away on the pages. Like I've seen a lot of the previews, and I know he had that full like preview book he released at one of the cons,
Yeah.
which I've almost gone on eBay and spent too much money to get.
I have a copy of it coming because Sean gave it away for free if you
Oh,
backed his
nice.
Kickstarter.
That's right. Yeah.
And he actually just shipped, because I got two painting commissions from him, and obviously the book and that
Oh, yeah.
Mateo book as well. So he just shipped those to me yesterday, so they should be here in a couple of days.
It's becoming difficult for me with kickstarting backing Kickstarters because now I want to go on and I support anybody I have on the podcast that has a Kickstarter. I go and back it. So now I have like multiple Kickstarters on top of the ones I was already. I'm like, oh man, because I wanted to go on and back Sean's as well. He's coming on next year, but those guys are so busy. They're starting that tour coming up where they're kind of like taking the pod on the road.
Yeah, I've talked to Sean about that a little bit and kind of gave him a bunch of advice because I mean, as you're aware, in my previous life I was a musician, so I have a lot of experience with like touring in vans,
Yeah.
kind of like doing booking venues and that sort of thing. So I was kind of giving them advice on what's the best thing to do with like travel, getting a van, and all that kind of stuff. But I know that they're only staying on the East Coast; they're not going any
Yeah.
further than that. And it's going to be in like March, and it's pretty much through the month of March. And they're going to be going to a handful of like 5 to 10 shops, they said, and kind of doing like signings.
And are
Um,
they're talking about doing the pod like live, not live, well, recording while they're at
mhm.
the live events, basically. Yeah, you're gonna be a slave to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Mobile setup for recording stuff, it can be rough depending on the setup. I would say let them know like, hey, make sure the place you're going has a good Wi-Fi.
but Jim and Sean both said that they would come on right before
Yes.
tour to promote it. So probably towards the tail end of like February, they'll probably come on
Perfect.
here. So
Yeah, and I think Mateo and Sean both will be on the regular podcast around that March April timeframe too. So that's
nice.
going to be cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what those guys do and how that works for them. So that's kind of cool. We'll have to maybe get you over to the West Coast, and we'll go to a couple shops over here and do Bristol Bros live in person. So so everybody can see we nailed the scale of ourselves on that logo.
We did.
They can witness it in real life.
Yeah, I was gonna
Speaking
say too, if
Oh,
you ever
go
want
ahead.
to, um, have me co-host with you on the pod, like I'm always happy to do so. I know you kind of do it at random ass times and whenever people are booked, but I'm
Yeah,
just letting you
yeah.
know that if you ever need me to to wing it with you, I'm always happy to do it. So
I'll definitely take you up on that sometime. You know, when it works, it's yeah, it's tough because it's so random, and now I'm getting people that it's funny because I'll send them the link to schedule, and like I'll forget like who I reached out to and who, because it's some of them it's been like 6 months. I think I had one where it was like they agreed to come on like a year ago, and then all of a sudden I just saw the scheduling pop up, like they remembered and they went on. So I'm like, oh, that's right, I did reach out to him, you know. So yeah, yeah, definitely. And I've got the ability, I was going to tell you, I can have so like when we do this moving forward, I'll be able to make you a co-host on here, so you'll be able to put the chat up and all of that as well. So I got us the ability to do some cool stuff. I upgraded to a little more expensive plan. It sucks
cool.
that they make you do that. They like buy another seat for a co-host and do this and that. Like, you buggers, you already got so much money from me. Yeah, we could wing it with a free platform. I know that. I know there's something similar to this, but like StreamYard seems pretty stable as far as what's out there. So I think we'll keep rolling with this. Plus, I'm used to it now.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
We'll make do.
We'll make it work. We've got confetti in the background, dude.
That's
We got
right.
confetti for the new year. I mean, so in retrospect, for 2025 and all these different projects you did, are you, I would assume you're pretty proud of what you did. Is there any sense of like you wished you would have done even more? Or do you think you did too much? Or if you had the year to do over again, would you have approached it differently?
No. So I'm very happy with the progress that I made. And to be honest with you, I did way more than I even anticipated.
Yeah.
So I I was nothing more than a doodler pretty much like my entire life. Like I wouldn't even consider myself an illustrator or cartoonist, drawer, like period. Like I just doodled on sketch pads and whatever. You know
Right.
what I mean? And like 2 years ago now, I decided that I randomly started. I drew like what was it? Was it a Barney Rubble? I think I randomly just like drew it. It was wonky looking, but I'm like, oh, there's
Yeah.
actually something here. So then every day I did a drawing, and then I got better and better. And then I'm like, oh, there's actually something here, and I have already discovered kayfabe at that point. And that's when I was
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe I can make comics, and that divulged into everything. But um, no, I mean this year, like I said, my first comic came out in April, I want to say, and like all through basically like January to March, Sean Crystal and I were emailing back and forth like a bunch. I'm talking we probably sent 50 to 80 emails back and
Oh,
forth
wow.
during that period of time. And it was a lot of mentoring, advice, so on and so forth. To him basically being like, hey, like you need to put your money where your mouth is, because if you're serious about making comics, that you want the responsibility to, to basically lead a project and have other people come in and do the whole anthology thing like I was pitching to him. He's like,
Yeah.
I'll give you the platform to do it, but you need to actually do it. So if you're going to do it, like, let's pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, you got to do the work. If you're saying you want to do all these things, they want to see that action happen, right?
Yeah, and then 3 months went by, and there it was. I'm like, I have my work done, and I had a trailer shot for the first anthology because that was the whole thing. Like, nobody knew who I was, so I was, pitching like, hey, I've never made a comic before, and I want to make a comic, and felt like the ultimate goal is to get more people to make a comic. So,
Yeah.
do an anthology. It's a good onboarding point for people because you can start small, and then it gets work published for people as well. And so that was just a good starting on point. And when I sent all of that to Sean, he was like, oh shit, like you're actually doing work. And then that was, like I said, that was back in March. And I've since, put out 4 or 5 other books
Yeah.
since then.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's one of those things where it's kind of sad that he was surprised that you were doing that, but it just shows that like, and you know this from living life, like a lot of people talk about all the things they want to do, but then when it comes to where the rubber meets the road and actually doing those things, it's the stumbling block for a lot of people. So it is shocking to people when they see like, oh man, this guy actually took the advice we gave him and he's running with it. So that's super cool. I'm just checking the chat here. Oh, we got my friend in Japan. um hey, good to see you again. Second to live stream you've been on now. That's awesome. Yeah, we were this person's very first live stream they'd ever been on this last Sunday for our drawing live stream. So that
Gotcha.
was cool. They're a huge Jim Mafood fan. They actually got to see him at the Tokyo Comic Con and everything and buy some stuff from him. So we're big fans of Jim too. Love that guy. He's a character.
Did you see the videos that Dave put up recently from his
Yeah.
Japan trip?
Yeah.
Yeah, because or was it on might have been on Ink Pulp actually, on Ink Pulp Live.
Ink Pulp did the one, and then Dave's done 2 or 3 now, I think.
Yeah, but Jim was like talking about how all of the people over in Japan were like bringing him gifts and
Yeah,
like letters and all sorts of stuff.
I
And
saw that.
we love you, Mr. Honorable Mafood.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's so cool. The culture over there is very, very positive and very supportive of art and creativity and everything. So it's always cool to see that. And this person here, I'm sorry I don't know your name. You'll have to message me. We've been talking on Instagram or on X because they were interested in the Absolute Batman piece that I'm working on. They want me to turn it into a print so they can get some prints, which I think I might do. It actually turned out really good, so I think I might get some prints made. I'll have to ask you about where to get that done. I think I know already, but yeah, so it's neat to see. It's just neat to see like art and comics just being supported all across the globe, right?
yeah, I wish that if we had like 10% of the comic culture that they had in Japan and America, would be so much better off.
Yeah.
I honestly don't understand where that disconnect comes from. And well, I honestly think it comes from that comics to begin with were always things that were catered towards kids.
Mhm.
And that's just something that never broke stigma wise with a lot of people. They see comic books and they instantly just think Green Lantern, Batman, so on and so forth, and
Yeah.
that are for kids.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that they're more than just that. And that's why manga thrives in Japan, because like they can make a comic about golf. They can make a comic about
Exactly.
sailboats. It's like it doesn't matter. They'll make a comics about anything and people buy it and read it.
Yeah. And it's all about if it's fun. I remember Liefeld talking about that. It's like anything in Japan is made to be fun. Like the even down to the bottled drinks that have the candy that drops into them, and like well, is it fun? Like I think they have that spirit of keeping things fun. And like you said with comics, like I don't think over there it's really considered like a kid things. Manga is for everybody. They can make it about anything. And yeah, I'm just blown away by the level of creativity that they have. And I'm very torn because that is a place I would really like to go. But man, surviving a flight that long, as big as I am, bro, tough. I would have to knuckle down and break the bank on like business class or something, so I had room, so I could be, because I have bad, like my knees are kind of janky from 30 years of jiu-jitsu and sitting with my knees bent for more than an hour, like they swell up and I can barely walk when I get off the plane. So it's like, oh man, I would love to go there. I keep hearing about that art store that's like numerous stories tall. I know Jim went there and was showing off some of the stuff he got. I was so jealous.
Yep. I honestly, my girlfriend and I are kind of spitballing about maybe going this upcoming year.
I know how much fun Dave and Jim always have going, and like Dave, man, he was there for almost a couple months.
Yeah, he was there for an entire month.
That's awesome. Yeah, he had a really good time. Yeah, I think that's kind of on my bucket list. It's like get over there because it has my wife and I really like crane like claw games.
Mhm.
And we have a bunch of plushies and things from that. And she loves going to round one. And their culture, man, they have so much of that. And cats, we're cat people, so they like cats over there. They like art. Like I'm thinking, plus I would be a spectacle walking around there because I heard anybody like over 6 foot is like considered a giant, and like people ask if their picture taken with you and stuff.
Yeah, I love hearing Jeff Darrow talk about that because he's super tall as well.
Yeah.
So he's like, business people will just walk up to you and be like, "Can I practice speaking English with you?" And
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
sure. And
Of
then
course.
randomly, then at the end of the conversation, like, "Can we take a picture?" It's like,
Yeah. I
okay.
love it. Well, I know you're in the middle of some relocation, so you don't have your normal setup to show some things. But I have a few things nearby that I want to show you that I picked up this week that I thought you would think are cool. And you probably already have a lot of this stuff, but so I ended up getting. I'm gonna switch myself to full screen, and I'll just hold it
Yeah.
up to the camera here, so I'll see. All right. So let me know if you have this print. This is a cool print I found.
Oh
That's a
wow.
that's a Jack Kirby watercolor. This was sent to the shop. These prints were sent to this shop that I went to from the Kirby estate, like to be sold at their shop. So I grabbed that one. Only $10, dude. And
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
I bought a print from the Jack Kirby Museum. It's a homage. I can't remember what Captain America issue it is, but it's an homage that Eric Larson drew. It's 11 by 17
Oh,
print,
nice.
and it's a Savage Dragon instead of Captain America on the front punching a Nazi in the
In
face.
that pose, nice. And then I grabbed this one
Wow.
from 1975 pencil, yeah, print. So super cool. I couldn't pass them up. They had a binder with a bunch of different things in it.
Isn't that
Uh,
a splash page from that Lee Kirby
oh, the
Silver
trade,
Surfer?
the
Yeah,
very first trade paperback
yeah.
ever created. Yeah, I think so. And then I grabbed between a friend online and local shop, I filled in some of my Kirby FF run. So I grabbed
Oh, now we're
Great
talking.
Galactus Surfer.
I'm assuming that's a facsimile or a reprint.
No, it's real.
Oh,
Yeah.
spending the big bucks.
This isn't one of the super expensive ones. This one's really cool. Love the red cover.
Wow.
Another red.
Yeah, the Jack Kirby stuff that I'm working on for the anthology is basically a Fantastic Four ripoff.
Nice.
So
Issue 100. And then these are
wow.
this one was a little more pricey just because of who's on the cover. It's
Good old
Doom.
Doom and said Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil's on there. Yep. And then I love I think this is the first appearance of the Galactic Century character.
It's an interesting cover.
Yeah. And then I love any like covers where a thing is prominent. Grab that. And then this one's really cool. I love that. His expression and everything. He's like, oh no. And then this one's just a really cool character. Classic Kirby like line work and spot blacks on there. Yeah, so that's my those were my acquisitions with some of my Christmas gift money. You know, when you're an adult, it's kind of fun because you know you get gifted cash sometimes, and like, oh, I'm going to go to the comic shop and fill in some of my Kirby run.
Yeah, I recently picked up I picked up two things of manga from a Japan Book Hunter the last couple of
Nice.
days.
Yeah, he's been putting up a lot of cool stuff on his I've been following his IG and everything. Hey, Evgeny's in here. What's up, Evgeny? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, Japan Book Hunter's been posting some really cool stuff.
Always. I mean, I check his site pretty often, but I have to refrain myself from shopping there a lot because it's like 35 bucks for shipping, and then you get hit with the
Yeah.
import tax when it comes here too.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's like I
It's
bought 2
tough.
books from him yesterday, and just the 2 books, if I were just to just buy them, it would have been like 25 bucks, and then after everything was said and done, it was like $80.
Yep.
That's
That's the
nuts.
thing. It sucks because that's like to get some of that cool stuff. That's what you have to bite the bullet and do
Yeah.
that though. Because again, more incentive that we need to go visit Japan, dude. And take a couple extra suitcases, right? Like I saw Dave had like so many suitcases he brought back just full of stuff. Yeah, that cracked me up. And some of the pencils that Jim got were really unique. He got some like crazy mechanical pencils and things I'd never seen before. And I know I would be in heaven. Like my brother-in-law and sister-in-law are planning on going to Japan next year. And I'm very tempted to like get because my brother-in-law, he's a nerd like me. He's a huge into Star Wars and used to collect comics and used to draw and stuff. So I'm very tempted to like give him $200 to take with him and ask him to go to that art store and just like, hey, if you see something you think is cool, just surprise me and grab a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like he's saying, it's apparently it's extremely cheap right there right now. Like
Yeah, and,
6
and
of
you
their
have you
dollars is
have
like one of ours. So,
Yevgeny says he hears it's quite cheap to go there right now.
mhm.
Yeah, Yevgeny, but see, we have the plight, brother. Yevgeny's 6'10". I'm 6'5", and I'm scared to go. I don't know how Yevgeny would survive that.
I mean, the way that I see it is back in, the territory wrestling days, Andre the Giant used to wrestle out of Japan and
Yeah.
he managed, so it's like nobody has excuses then.
He was blowing up he was blowing up those bathrooms on the plane. I've heard
Yes.
stories. That and the elevator stories of Andre cracked me up, man. You're a wrestling guy, right? Like you're a pro wrestling. It's funny you sent me that text the other day. Hey, are you happen to be into wrestling? And then I sent you the GIF. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I'm hardcore.
Volkova's in the
Like
house.
I
Volkova.
I'm like a walking wrestling encyclopedia.
I
So,
figured you probably were. I could have been that if we knew each other, if we were in a different time, I would have been that too. But I fell off. Like my wife and I used to watch all the Raw stuff, and we're from that original Stone Cold Rock, Degeneration X, like that whole
Attitude
generation.
Era stuff.
Yeah, the Attitude Era stuff. We were walking encyclopedias of that stuff back in the day. We would be able to see far and wide. Yeah, we would. We'd be like walking tourist attractions if we went there, Yevgeny. We'd be like asking for autographs, asking us to stand there so they could take pictures and, commit our bodies to science, see how we got so big. So Sam, for 2026, what is the plan? Because you said you're going bigger. First of all, tell everybody exactly how many things you produced this year, and then a rough idea of what you're looking to do, how you're going to one up yourself next year.
Yeah, so I mean, this year I put out 4 comics. I put out a sketchbook. I made circle guides, micron holders,
I'm gonna need
stencils.
to I'm gonna need to order some of the micron holders from you for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
guys, and anybody in the chat, like I'm gonna put your site up here because you got all that stuff on your site, right?
yes, I do.
In your circle templates and all of that you 3D print and the micron holders.
Yep, I've been slowly adding things onto the site actually. I've been slowly putting pages up on there. I don't have any up currently because they're already gone.
Selling
So,
some originals.
yeah, selling my
Nice, dude.
pages. Yeah.
See, they're already sold out.
So, yeah, the ones that I had up are gone already.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
So, I have like I sold the cover for White Line and 4 of the interior pages so far.
Sweet.
Yeah,
So
and a
what you're
couple
saying
anthology
is I
pages.
should have done them. I should have done my pinup traditionally. Dang it.
Yeah, I mean that's
Next
definitely
time.
something that people need to think about with you know, with running a comic business is that if you're digital, you don't have anything to sell.
Yeah.
So
Oh, Nathan, Nathan Campos art is in here with us. He's always on our Sunday drawing streams too. He says he needs circle guides. So yeah, definitely head over to sammcclurg.com, man, and pick some up. And the micron holders are really cool too. I've been meaning to get on there and buy some of those.
but yeah, I printed t-shirts, designed t-shirts.
Nathan Campos says we made the same mistake, James. Yeah. Yeah, we did. That's okay. Next, we know better for next time.
But yeah, like kind of what I was saying towards the beginning of the stream that this year was super crazy and I did way more than what I had even anticipated. Rolling into it, my goal was to table Eddie Pecan and have at least like 5 prints ready to sell, and that was my goal.
Yeah.
And I showed up there with 5 prints, like 20 sticker sets, circle guides, screen
Wow.
tone guides, 3 anthologies, sketchbook,
That's
t-shirts.
crazy, bro.
Yeah, it
It
came
went
together super
it
fast
went
for me.
well though, right?
Yeah, it did. I made a shitload of money.
That's awesome, bro.
So,
And you had fun. You made a bunch of connections. You got to hang out with a lot of your friends and got to hang out with the family. And yeah, it's kind of a bummer. Like, I don't know. And it's not a bummer in the sense of I totally understand why they're doing it, but it sounds like they're taking a little break, indefinite break from all of that stuff. I don't really think they've had time to fully process. Like, I think like they got so caught up in honoring his legacy and doing all these cool things and the cons and everything, and they probably haven't taken that time they need for themselves to really process and truly grieve.
yeah, I agree with you to an extent. I can't tell you obviously I was in Pittsburgh and the vibes were a little strange with
Mm,
everyone, I will say. At one point in time during it was the last day before the doors opened, it was the Piscor family and just me in the whole building. That was it.
wow.
And
It was
I will say
interesting. We'll say it was interesting.
there was some family affairs going on.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens, man. That happens anytime. Yeah, everybody's going to have their own best way, their own opinion on the best way to handle something like that. So I could see that. I could see that coming up. So it's good that they're going to reset, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully they reset and they come back stronger than ever and revitalize. Because I know, like, as far as the community wants it. Like, the community wants to see more of it and everything. And you know, so every time I talk to somebody, especially somebody like yourself who's more from that indie underground scene, it's like kayfabe was such a jumping on point or such a entry point for them realizing, hey, I can do comics too. I don't have to be like of this elite level right away to create and make things and publish things, and like the audience is there for it and everything. Like, comics should be like for everybody. And I think I could say this for myself as an artist, like the standard I have for myself would be like I'd probably hold myself back and never put anything out if I really maintain that, because it's like, oh, it has to be good enough to be published at Marvel. And it's like, no, it doesn't. If you love creating and you want to make something and put it out there in the world and create it, like really you should be creating for yourself anyway.
Mm.
But I think we lose sight of that because it's like you're not considered successful unless you work for Marvel or DC or Image or something. And that's not really what it's all about. And I think if people go back and kind of refocus and realize what they love about comics and what got them into creating art and everything, and then seeing people like yourself go out and do this, and like, hey, anybody can go and do this, you just got to put in the work and take action, right?
No, 100%. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head, and that's something that I try to drive home to a lot of people is, you can't get caught up in your own bullshit. You just need to keep
Hmm.
just trekking forward and getting it done. That's something that you have to get over real early in your art career is having self-conscious thoughts about what other people think about your art.
Yeah.
Um, I always tell people that as an artist, it is not your job to make sure other people like your art. It is your job to put it out into the world and for other people to do what they will with it.
Yeah.
If you are making art and making comic books to make money, I mean, first of all, you're in the wrong business because, like told you in the past, nobody's making money unless you're Robert Kirkman in comics.
Yeah.
And yeah, and if you're doing it for money and not because you love comics, and you're not willing to do it for free, then you're not going to be willing to do it when you're actually making money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So,
and especially like if you do make it, it's like, then what? Like if your whole reason was to do it to make money, it's like, well, where do you go after that? Like once you do make it, like obviously Kirkman is an outlier because that
mhm.
guy is still he could retire. He could have retired, 5, 10 years ago, but he just loves making comics and writing and producing stuff. So you gotta, it's like our buddy Nathan saying in the chat here, he says you got to do it for the love of the game. Yeah. And I think anybody like really successful in comics has followed that formula. Like they would have been drawing for free, and it just so happened that they worked hard and achieved their dream, and some people, hit it off and their careers took off, and they just happen to be, a lot of it's right place at the right time, and well, right time period for comics too, right? Because like depending on when you got in, there were some eras where you ain't going to be doing a whole lot because the industry is very much a peaks and valleys. Right now, I feel like the industry's kind of at a peak in for DC in particular,
Mhm.
and Marvel's down in that valley. I think Marvel really needs to do something crazy and shake it up. Like bring Jim Lee back on an X-Men series. Pay
I
him pay him millions of, I heard a rumor, and this isn't from anybody on the inside, but I did hear a rumor he's working on some kind of X-Men like one shot for Marvel.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. And obviously that book would sell a metric shitload of copies, but it's never gonna
But then
sell the same.
it's not going to right the ship either though. Like one book, like they need to restructure how they're doing everything. Like I feel like they're so beholden to keeping the characters the same and not and keep rehashing the same characters and not, like you can do that. Like I mean Absolute Batman's a good example, but it's like he's a completely different Batman, and I think that's why it works. He's not as much of a derivative of Batman as some of the other versions they've come out with over the years. Is like a very unique thing, and that's why it's like, I mean, they're really putting down the blueprint. Like get get Ryan Stegman on the Savage Spider-Man and let him completely redesign Spider-Man, change everything about him, make him look killer, bring in that anime manga influence, and like shake it up, like have him killing people. Like that's the way they're gonna to right the ship, is come up with new original stuff.
Bringing back the amalgam books.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
They
mean,
gotta know that too. It's like no secret. Like
Yeah.
they're watching everything. Anybody with success, they're watching and probably scheming and trying to figure out something.
so it's pretty interesting that you say that, though, that comics are kind of at a peak in some cases. So I am of the mind that there is a buzz or like weird festering, bubbling kind of going on in the undercurrent on the creation side of comics.
Right.
And I think that it's a big pushback coming from, the house styles from Marvel, DC, so on and so forth. But then as well, obviously, we're pushing up against the indefinite AI war, which who even knows how that's going to play out. I don't have
Yeah.
anything to even say about that, to be honest with you, because that's well trenched ground. But it's just more of a time and place sort of thing. Is that there's that big shift that at least corporate America is going towards AI, and then people like myself and yourself and other cartoonists, so on and so forth, are going to continue to make standard art.
Yeah.
So I think the industry itself is actually at a low point, but creation is at a high point. Very similar to like comics in like the late 60s into the early 70s, when underground started popping up a bunch and like the hippie era was coming up, and that more rebellious comics like R. Crumb was coming up during that time, so on and so forth. And then look where Marvel was during that time. It's like Jack Kirby just psyched out, coked out of his mind, drawing pages. Like, who even knows what's going on in some of those books back, back in the 70s?
Allegedly.
Yeah, so that's what I mean, though. It's like,
Yeah.
who even it's very much like when you look at history in that way, we're kind of in the same spot, to where it's
True.
like the main companies aren't doing very great, but at the same time, the creation is at a high point, and at some point, maybe in another 10 years, 15 years, when the 90s kind of circle back around, that's when everything is going to pick back up in terms of the whole industry.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I say it's at a peak, I just mean in the regard to what DC is doing, like not the industry as a whole, because Absolute Batman in particular, like, has been the first book I can remember in like over a decade that got new people into comics. And like I've heard numerous stories of people going into shops and like people coming in who've never bought a comic and they're asking for Absolute Batman. So I think that's cool. Like, it's getting a lot more people into comics. Hopefully that'll help the industry. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, definitely the industry as a whole isn't at a peak. And I think there's obviously outliers though. And when you talk about the creativity being high, like, look at what Liefeld's done. I mean, the guy brought Youngblood back, and it was the #1 selling book at Image. And the month prior to that, McFarlane's Spawn book was, I think it was one of the King Spawn books, was the #1. So back to back month, the OGs from that original Image era were at the top of the game. So I think it shows that the people are there for it. You just have to approach it in the right way and get people excited. I think Marvel hasn't really gotten anybody excited in a long time. And I know they're trying this ultimate in-game thing, and it's going to have blind bags and all that. The blind bag bandwagon is rolling strong. And that'll give a little spike, but then it's like, it's not sustainable. So that's the hard part. And I know what Marvel's doing. And they don't want creators to become prominent again. Because last time that happened to them, you know what happened. So it's like Liefeld says, you were buying Rob Liefeld issue 1. You were buying Todd McFarlane. You weren't buying Spawn 1. You were buying it because those guys were doing it. It could have been whatever, and the way those were written kind of proves that, because they weren't exactly the most original ideas, but we all bought them because those were our guys.
Yeah, and I mean, I even think that even to some certain extent, comics are somewhat still like that. Obviously, there's a big casual audience that just has zero clue. They walk into a comic book shop, they ask for their Batman book, and they get their Batman book, and they leave.
Mm-hmm.
But there are still a lot of, I would say, artists, writers, so on and so forth, that have followings that are at those companies, but they're not big enough to where they're going to be moving any needles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know
But
how
it's like
this.
they have Stegman, right? Like arguably Stegman is the top artist that Marvel has.
Mhm.
But they give him some weird X-Men reboot where they make Cyclops the lead. Like, Stegman's known for drawing Wolverine. Why wouldn't you
Yeah.
give him make Wolverine the lead? Like, that would have popped off like crazy. So it's kind of like they're fumbling to put the right people on the right books or something. That might
I
be
mean,
part of it too.
I mean, there's companies like Dynamite had messed around with it. A couple other companies to where they will crowdfund certain projects. Like I think
Yeah.
was it Dynamite just did they did that reprint of was it Thundercats like
Yeah, they
recently?
did. Yeah.
So it's like, so there's bigger companies that do crowdfunding things. So it's like, if the company doesn't want to take that risk and be like, we don't want to bring you onto this book, 'cause we don't know if it's going to sell. It's like, what excuse do they have that they can't do like a Kickstarter and then
Yeah.
see if that gets funded, and then that person is able to then work on that book and then make said book, and then there's
Yeah.
zero risk.
Or do something like here's the thing, they have all the same tools available to them that we have.
Yeah.
They just choose not to use them. They could do direct to consumer. They could get on Whatnot and sell. You can only get this new X-Men by Jim Lee can only be bought on Whatnot through the Marvel official account, and then see how it does and then go from there. Or it's only released like Liefeld did with Youngblood. I mean, that came out like 6 months ago,
Yeah.
issue 1, and he sold like over 100,000 copies, I think, direct to consumer, or close to it, or 50,000, whatever. And then now it's just now getting released in shops and it's selling like crazy. So like there's nothing stopping them from doing something like that, other than I just feel like they're stuck within their own constraints and like having to do it the way they've always done it. I think probably that comes from the top,
Yeah.
and just not being willing to take big risks, or they're perceiving something like that as a risk, when really you can't do anything great without taking risks, as you and I know.
I mean, they can't do those things like they used to do back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s because they're not, private companies anymore. It's like you have to look
Yeah.
at who the parent
Stocks.
companies are. It's like Marvel, it's Disney,
Yeah.
and then DC, it's Warner Brothers Discovery, which who even knows what's going on with that company because they get bought every 5 minutes from somebody.
Netflix. Yeah, whoever.
So
Yeah. It's interesting, man. Yeah, it's been an interesting year for comics. But I derailed us. So looking forward to 2026, you're already saying you're going to stack it. You're going to stack it even higher this time. So give everybody, as we get close to the end of the stream here, give everybody kind of a outline of what your plans are.
yeah, so I'm gonna continue to pump out anthologies. So pretty much, every 3 months or so, I put out an anthology book. And then there's going to be white line issues coming out in between those. So roughly, I'm going to have 6 comics total is kind of what I'm hoping for next year, on top of doing pinups, covers, and whatever else I do for other people.
Yeah.
I should be tabling Heroes Con. That's the big con that I should be doing next year. Obviously, I don't think ADP Con is going to be coming to fruition, unfortunately. So Heroes Con is kind of going to be the one that I'm going to be focusing on. Obviously, that's a little earlier in the year.
Mhm.
So I got that coming up. I'm going to be looking forward to that. And then as well, we're just going to keep cranking out Bristol Bros.
Yeah.
Things, and maybe end up doing something else with it. Who even knows? But
The
yeah, I
sky
mean,
is
it's
the
just another
limit.
year of drawing comics and getting pages out there, and just keep beating the drum on it.
Yeah.
I'm of the mind that if you are making comics and you get off the hamster wheel, it is extremely hard to get back on the hamster wheel. So never get off of it,
Yeah,
because
you got to
it sucks
keep
when
that
you
keep that momentum going,
Yeah.
right? For the listeners or the viewers here in this case, what's the distinction between and I just like when I interview people on my podcast, I ask these questions as if I don't know the answer, but let everybody know who's watching. What's the distinction between the White Line series versus the anthologies?
Sure. So anthologies are community-driven projects. So they are typically they have a theme to them. So like we'll do horror themed, we'll do sci-fi themed, whatever. And
Jack
then
Kirby
people,
theme.
yeah, exactly. So then
Yeah.
people will, I'll set parameters like, hey, you have 30 days. Here's a form. Basically, people go to my Google form. They kind of look at the rules and guidelines. Send me 2 to 10 pages is typically what we do, and then whatever gets sent to me, if it's printable, I print it. I design all the books, print them, send them out to people, and then the whole point behind it is if you do work on the book, I send you comp copies, so that way you can sell them at table your own cons, sell them on your website, do what you will with them. They're your books, and it's like that's you. You're sending me pages, helping me get books out there, and then I'm helping you to put money in your pocket.
Yeah.
We sell those anthologies for about $5 a piece, so that's $50 that somebody could potentially put in their pocket if they actually sell their copies. So that's the way that I
Nice.
see it.
Yeah.
And then White Line Deadline, that is purely a solo project. Obviously, like we'll have you do pinups, and I'll have guests do covers and whatnot for me. But the all of the writing, interiors, lettering, literally everything from start to finish, design is all me. So that is purely a solo book, and that's about coke trafficking in the 70s.
Yeah.
So if you're
Yeah.
into that, that's what it is. So
If you're into coke trafficking, no wait. If you're into the genre, if you're into that genre, 70s vibes, in the characters are loosely patterned off of Steve McQueen and Keith Richards looks wise.
did you get my
And
PDF, by the way? Because I sent you one. I don't know if you saw it
I-
yet or not.
where'd you send it?
I sent all the rewards through Kickstarter
I think
a couple days ago.
did. I think I did, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. I'm pretty sure I got it.
Otherwise, I'll send you a physical copy of it.
I would be happy to pay you for a physical copy because I would like to see my pinup print in print,
Mhm.
and so we'll do that for sure. But I'm pretty sure I did get the PDF. And so the best way for people to reach out if they want to contribute to one of the anthologies is through your website, right?
Yeah, I would send me an email and just kind of ask, hey, what's going on with the anthologies? Message me on Discord. I'm super active on Discord. I'm pretty much in there all day, every day. And I would say that's probably the primary way that most cartoonists reach out to me nowadays is probably Discord.
Okay.
But yeah, my website's perfectly fine. You can send me an email. I can tell you that we're probably going to launch like the lead up to like the deadline to the book probably like mid-January, so probably about another 2 weeks or so.
Okay.
That will run from like mid-January to mid-February. That's going to be your 30 days to get your pin-up cover pages done, whatever. And then once that deadline's done, obviously I have the pages already. I design the book, and then I typically have that done within a week and a half, and send it off to the printer, and then the books go straight from the printer to you guys, because that's how the way that I have it laid out. So I don't have to do any shipping or anything on my end. So as soon as it's done from the printer, it
Perfect.
gets straight to whoever contributed, so they can sell their copies and do what they will with them. And they don't have to deal with me being a middleman with shipping. So
And people need to be aware that if they're going to contribute like a story, that needs to be like inked, lettered, Like it needs to be, they're going to have to do all the production in that regard, or work if they're working with a friend on it, whatever. But it has to, the pages you get need to be, Sam's not gonna letter your story for you and do all that when he's putting the book together. He's got plenty on his plate.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like the one of the points behind the anthology again is trying to get as many people to make as many comics as possible. So if you're a starter and that's kind of like your on board point, it's a great place for you to start to learn how to make comics, so on and so forth. And in the past, I've sat with people in Discord meetings that didn't know how to scan and work and adjust levels, so on and so forth. And I sat with them and I helped them. So
awesome.
I'm always happy to help you guys get it ready for production. And if I get your pages and they are not ready, I will send them back to you and I will give you resources on how to fix it. And if you still have trouble and aren't able to correct the issue, I'm always happy to sit in a meeting and show you how to do it. So that way in the future, if you go to work on other projects, not just my anthologies or your own projects or whatever, you know how to get your stuff ready for print
awesome,
for production. So
that's great, man. Well, anybody watching, let's create together in 2026. Let's make it an amazing year. Make sure to support Sam. Go out and show him love. He's not on social media. I'm thankful for him that he's not on social media. He doesn't need to be. He very promptly answers his emails, and he will be in that Discord as he was telling you. Obviously we're gonna have some awesome Bristol Bros lives in 2026. We've got some guests stacking up, lining up. Other times it'll be you and I on here, but we always have great conversation and cover a lot of ground. And I think people can learn a lot from the discussions. Sometimes it might not be as informative. It might just be us chatting and catching up because we enjoy chatting with each other. But Sam, anything to send people away with as they go into the new year?
Make more comics.
Let's make comics together, guys. Sam, my Bristol bro, I appreciate you, buddy. I am very happy and fortunate and grateful to have made your acquaintance in 2025. Hit it off the way that we have, and doing this together is really cool. So I just want to say I appreciate you, and I wish you nothing but the best in the new year, brother. Here, I'll do the what's the one the kids do? Yeah, that's the other heart. They do this. They do this instead of this. I was told by one of my jiu-jitsu kids it's this little heart thing. I don't know. My hands are so messed up from all the years of jiu-jitsu. I can't do it. All right, brother. Well, listen, everybody who watched, thank you for the support. I'm trying to get Nerdy Musings podcast channel on YouTube up to 500 subscribers. We've gained a lot of subscribers here in the past couple of months, and we're rapidly approaching 500. So I put a crazy goal out today. I said, let's get to 500 by New Year's Day. I don't think we'll make it, but if you guys aren't subscribed, I've noticed that a lot of the regular viewers aren't subscribed, which is kind of funny, but they always watch every week. So if you guys could hit that subscribe, make sure you subscribe to Sam's channel as well. And let's have a wonderful new year creating comics together. All right, buddy. Have a great night. Later, everyone. Happy New Year.
Bye.